Hello students, welcome to part 9 of Morphology of Flowering Plants, and today we are going to discuss about how leaves are modified to perform various functions. First we'll study about leaf spines. Spines are stiff, they are sharp, they are pointed structures which are formed by modification of some part of the leaf or entire leaf. Plants develop the spines either to protect themselves from grazing animals or to reduce the rate of transpiration. For example, in case of Opuntia, if you remember, Opuntia is a xerophytic succulent plant. In case of Opuntia, the entire stem is modified to form a leaf-like structure. We had studied this in Phylloclade. And the leaves are modified to form these spine structures. Why? To prevent from the grazing animals. Also, if there are no leaves, leaves are modified to spines. No stomata, there wouldn't be any transpiration and it will help in conservation of water, which is necessary for xerophytic plants. So it is a xerophytic adaptation. In Opuntia, the entire leaf is getting modified into a spine, whereas in Acacia and Ziziphus is bare. Only the stipules are modified to form spine. So what is a stipule? These hair-like outgrowth. Suppose this is stem, node, this is the petiole. Here on the side, white greenish colored structures are arising, which are called as stipules. In stipulate leaves, in Acacia and Ziziphus, only the stipules are modified to form spine-like structure. So students, remember, it is different from thorns. Thorns are modification of stem. Axillary bud usually gets modified. They have nodes, internodes. Here spine is a modification either of entire leaf as in Opuntia, or only the stipules as in Acacia and Ziziphus for protection from grazing animals as well as to reduce the rate of transpiration. Next, we'll study the next modification is formation of leaf tendrils. This picture I've taken from your textbook only. So what is a tendril? Tendril, they are long, they are slender, wiry structures, sensitive to touch. They coil around any support. So basic function is to support the weak stems in case of climbers or creepers. So it is a coiled sensitive structure usually providing support to climbers and creepers. There are different types of tendrils. Sometimes whole leaf is modified to form a tendril, as in case of wild pea. In this picture, you can see wild pea, lathyrus. The entire leaf is modified to form a tendril, and the stipules are modified to form leaf-like structure. So these are the stipules, and this tendrilar part is actually the, yeah, I'll just show you. So this tendrilar part is actually the leaf, whereas this stipule is modified to form the leaf-like structure to carry out photosynthesis. Leaflet tendril can be seen in Pisum sativum. Here in this picture, you can see the terminal leaflets. They are modified to form tendrils which provide support. Leaf tip tendril in glory lily or gloriosa, you can see the tip is modified to become tendrilar to provide support, whereas in smilax, the stipules are modified to form tendrils. So if this is a leaf, these are the stipules, the petiole, the leaf is there, but the stipules they get modified to form tendrilar. So whole leaf becoming tendril, lathyrus. Leaflet becoming tendril, sweet pea. Only tip becoming tendril, gloriosa. Only stipules becoming tendril in case of smilex, and of course all are going to provide support to the creepers or the climbers. Next modification is having leaf hooks. In Bignonia unguscatai, it is also called as cat snail, or it is also called as vagnakhi in case in Marathi. The terminal three leaflets, so these are the terminal three leaflets which are modified to form hook like structures, and they are stiff claw-like structures. And of course, what is their function? They will help that climber or that plant to climb. It will provide support, and hooks will help the plant to climb on support, either a wall or a large tree trunk or anything. So leaves modified to form hook-like structure in Bignonia unguscatai, Wagnaki. They are like the claws of a cat. Next modification, very interesting modification, is phyllodes. Usually students get confused between phylloclade and phyllodes. Phylloclade is present in Opuntia, where stem is modified to form leaf-like structure. This is phyllodes. In phyllodes, this is suppose the stem, the node, the leaf base, the petiole and the leaf, right? In this case, this petiole is becoming green, flat, expanded, and actually they are having compound leaves. these compound leaves, they just fall off. It is also a modification for xerophytic plants, in xerophytic plants like Australian acacia, to reduce the rate of transpiration. And when these compound leaflets fall down, you can see a scar, and the petiole is modified to form a green, flat, leaf-like structure, either sometimes a petiole or a rachis, and the compound leaves fall down and there is a scar which is seen at the tip. Leaflets or lamina of the leaf are highly reduced, or caducous. Caducous, they fall off quickly. And the phyllodes, of course, they perform the function of photosynthesis. They also reduce the rate of transpiration because it is a petiole part which is expanded. So they won't have any stomata or less stomata, and thus transpiration is reduced. Conservation of water occurs. Can be found in Australian acacia, also called as Acacia auriculiformis. In Parkinsonia, the leaves are bipinnately compound. So very, very common example. So always see difference between a phyllodes and phylloclade can be asked in for 2 marks in your exam. Let us see the next modification, interesting modification in insectivorous plants like Nepenthes. Look carefully at this picture. This swollen part, this flat green part, it is actually the leaf base. The leaf base is becoming like a flat leaf-like structure. This coiled tendriller structure is actually the, we can say, the leaf stalk or the petiole, and the lamina becomes to form a pitcher-shaped structure. Usually, when the plants are growing in a nitrogen deficient soil, of course, these plants need nitrogen for growth because they have to prepare amino acids and proteins. So these plants, some plants, the leaves are modified to become insectivorous, and this lamina becomes a pitcher, and the leaf apex, it forms the lid. Lot of nectar glands are present on the rim of the pitcher plant, and it will attract the insects. When the insects are coming here, the lid will close and then they will be digested. So it will provide extra source of supply of nitrites and nitrates. So this is leaf modified to form a pitcher in pitcher plant, that is Nepenthes, to get extra amount of nitrite and nitrates from the insects after digesting the insects. So leaf modification in insectivorous plant. Even in Venus flytrap, you can see how the leaves are modified to form a trap, and they have the spinous structure present. Okay, and this is the leaf bladder which is present in bladderwort plant. It is an aquatic plant, and these bladders, they are also serving as a trap for the aquatic, we can say, insects or worms which are swimming in water, and then they will be feeding on that. So it is also a trap in case of aquatic plant bladderwort, where the leaf is modified to form a bladder like trap which will trap the water fleas, the mosquitoes, the tadpoles, etc., providing extra nourishment. You can see here next modification agave. Here the leaves have become succulent. For what? For storage of food. Even in case of aloe vera, the leaves have become thick, fleshy, and swollen to store the food and water. Succulent. Again, it is a modification which is found in xerophytic plant. Bryophyllum, Kalanchoe, sedum also show this modification. Next modification is scaly leaves, are also called as cataphyls, which are non-green leaves. So these are modified leaves. Inside you can see in case of onion, this is a reduced stem. Here there is apical bud. These are the scaly leaves which are present. Initially, the inner concentric leaves, they are storing the food and becoming fleshy, and outside leaves are for protection. They are non-green, they are dry, they are papery, they protect the inner part. And few of them become fleshy and they store the food material. So this is also a leaf modification for protection and storing food. Example found in onion as well as in garlic. Next modification you can see in bryophyllum. It is also seen in begonia. Now here the margin of the leaves. This is again a succulent leaf, fleshy leaf. The margin of the leaf, they have epiphyllous buds, and these epiphyllous buds produce new plants. So vegetative propagation takes place by epiphyllous buds. Epi above, phylla lamina. Buds present on the margin of the lamina of the bryophyllum leaf, which is helping in vegetative propagation. In case of poinsettia or euphorbia pulcherrima, the flower, if you see, is very inconspicuous. It is not able to attract the insect for pollination. So leaves, they become beautiful colored like petals. Why? To attract the insects for pollination. So all these are different types of adaptations in leaves. I hope you have understood, students. In next video we will discuss about what is inflorescence. Thank you.